Ever had one of those neighbors who just gets under your skin no matter what? Yeah, I hit the jackpot with mine. Let me tell you about Karen from my HOA and the kind of revenge that served colder than a freezing winter morning. So, I had just moved into a new neighborhood. I was genuinely excited. It was my very first house, my own little piece of the dream. Everything felt perfect, right up until I met Karen, the self-declared ruler of our Homeowners Association. Karen had a rule for absolutely everything. Mailbox color, grass height, what flowers you were allowed to plant, you name it, she had a regulation for it. At first, I tried to play nice. I smiled, waved, followed all her ridiculous rules. But for some reason, Karen took a special interest in me. I started getting notices for the smallest things. My recycling bin being out 5 minutes too long, or a garden gnome she decided was tacky. It was exhausting. The real problem started a few months later. I live in a townhouse complex where each unit comes with a one-car garage. Mine was mostly empty since I hadn't collected much stuff yet. One weekend, I went out of town to visit family. When I got back late Sunday night, I pulled into my driveway and hit the garage door opener. Nothing. The door lifted about a foot, then stopped. I figured the opener had broken. So I got out, crouched down, and squeezed under the partially open door, only to be greeted by something that completely stunned me. My garage was full. Not just cluttered, packed to the brim. Old dusty boxes, a broken lawnmower, rusty patio chairs stacked on top of each other, and then what looked like a collection of creepy porcelain dolls staring back at me. It was like a hoarder's house had exploded inside my garage. I just stood there, confused, angry, and honestly a little disturbed. Who would even do something like this? I must have stood there for 10 minutes, just trying to process what I was looking at. There was no way I could get my car inside, so I had to leave it parked on the street, which, of course, was another HOA violation Karen would absolutely write me up for. My thoughts were racing. Was this some kind of mistake? Did a moving company drop everything at the wrong place? Then I noticed a name written across one of the boxes, in black marker. Karen. And just like that, everything clicked. Karen, the HOA queen, had used my garage as her personal storage unit. I was furious. This wasn't just breaking a rule. This was straight up invading my property. The next morning, I was ready to confront her. I marched over to her house, just a few doors down, and knocked hard on her door. She opened it with a sickly, sweet smile, holding a cup of tea like nothing had happened. "Good morning," she chirped. I didn't waste a second. "Karen, why is your stuff in my garage?" I asked, trying to keep my voice under control. Her smile slipped for just a moment. "Oh, that," she said casually, waving her hand. "I hope you don't mind. My garage is completely full, and I noticed yours was empty. I was going to ask you, but you were out of town, so I just assumed you wouldn't mind helping out a neighbor." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "You assumed? Karen, you can't just break into my garage and dump your junk in there. I need that space for my car." And somehow, she looked annoyed at me. "It's only temporary," she huffed. "I'll move it in a few weeks when I have a garage sale. You can park on the street for now, can't you? It's for the good of the community. A cluttered yard is an eyesore." I was speechless. She was actually using HOA logic to justify this. I told her I wanted everything gone by the end of the day. She laughed. "Oh, don't be so dramatic. I can't move all of that by myself today." And then she shut the door right in my face. For the next week, I was furious. I tried calling the HOA management company. But guess who my point of contact was? Karen. I talked to a few neighbors, but they all avoided getting involved. They'd just shrug and say, "That's just Karen." I felt completely stuck. Every day I came home, that pile of junk in my garage was waiting for me, a constant reminder of her arrogance. And to make things worse, she kept leaving passive-aggressive notes about my car being parked on the street. The irony was unbearable. I knew I couldn't just throw her stuff away. That could land me in serious trouble. I needed a way to get rid of it, without technically being the one responsible. So I spent a few nights thinking, getting more frustrated each time. Then one evening, while scrolling through an online marketplace, it hit me, a simple, brilliant, perfectly petty idea. I couldn't throw her stuff away, But what if someone else did? That night, I took pictures of everything in my garage. The broken mower, the rusty chairs, the creepy dolls, all of it. Then I wrote the most irresistible ad I could. The title, huge free curb alert, everything must go. In the description, I wrote, moving out and need everything gone ASAP. Everything is completely free. Furniture, tools, collectibles, boxes of household goods. First come, first served, no holds. And then I added my address. But the real key was this. Everything is located inside the open garage. Please come at night to avoid disturbing neighbors. Take as much as you want. The door will be left open. I posted it on multiple freebie sites and local community groups. Then I left my garage door open just a few feet, enough for people to slip in and out quietly, and went to bed. I'll admit, I was nervous. What if no one showed up? What if Karen somehow saw the ad? But I was desperate. That night, I barely slept. Every now and then, I'd hear a car pull up, quiet voices, the sound of things being dragged away. It was like listening to a symphony of revenge. Every little noise felt satisfying. The next morning, I woke up early, heart racing. I made myself a cup of coffee and peeked outside. Everything looked quiet. I walked my garage, took a deep breath, and pressed a button. The door opened smoothly this time. And inside, nothing. It was completely empty. Beautifully, perfectly empty. Every single piece of Karen's junk was gone. The chairs, the mower, even those creepy dolls vanished without a trace. They didn't even leave dust behind. I couldn't stop smiling. For the first time in weeks, I pulled my car into my garage. It felt incredible. Later that morning, I stood outside, pretending to check my lawn, just waiting. Right on cue, around 10 a.m., Karen came marching over with her clipboard, probably ready to hand me another violation notice. She stopped at my open garage and froze. Her jaw dropped. Her face turned red, then darker red, then something close to purple. Where is my stuff?" she stammered. I put on my most innocent expression. "Your stuff? Oh, I have no idea, Karen. I came out this morning, and everything was gone. I just assumed you picked it up last night. I was actually going to thank you." Her eyes widened in panic. "No, I didn't. Someone stole it. My heirlooms, my antiques." I had to bite my lip to keep from laughing. "Heirlooms? Stole them?" I said, acting shocked. "That's terrible. You should call the police." I glanced toward the open garage. Although, leaving a garage full of valuables open all night, that's pretty careless. The look on her face was priceless. You could see it sinking in. She couldn't report it stolen without admitting she had illegally stored everything in my garage. She couldn't explain why her valuables were on someone else's property without permission. She was completely trapped. Checkmate. She just stood there, unable to speak. Then she looked at me, and I swear, in that moment, she knew. She knew exactly what I'd done. But she also knew there was nothing she could do about it. Without another word, she turned and walked away, completely defeated. And, you know what? I haven't received a single HOA notice since. Karen avoids me entirely now. And every time I park my car in my clean, empty garage, I smile. Sometimes, when someone pushes you too far, you don't need to get angry. You just need to get creative.